and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this card. I am using this lovely die, excuse the rip on there, flower arrangement from Aall Creations in the new stylish flowers collection. There are loads of things in this collection and I'll have a few different projects on the channel, so have a look for those too. Now, for the base card, I have just used a fancy die that I have, nesting die set that I had in my card. I played around with this die for quite a while, trying to work out the kind of shape that you need to make it look good. So I've gone for something sort of more sort of rectangular, vertical, slimline card, but you know, play around with what fancy dies you've got, or just on a plain sort of DL card. So we as I said, I've already got the base card made. That's, you know, done. So what we need to do is we need to cut this die out. Now it comes in two parts. You get this outline die, which we're going to cut in the pink. Now these dies are very, very thin, so you have got to make sure that you've got the cutting side down. And you can tell the difference, but you do need to sort of always double check that you have got that done. And then I'm going to cut this firstly out of the blue card, and then we're just going to do a little bit of paper piecing just to add some more interest. Okay, so let's cut these. Now this one's a detailed die. This one is what we call a simple die. So we're going to start with the least pressure, but I'm not entirely convinced that the bouquet one, because it's an intricate die. Now, as I said, there are quite a few dies in this collection and they all use the same kind of floral motif. So they all work really, really well together. But I'm just trying to show you on these projects that the individual dies and how they can stand alone, so that, you know, you can buy more if you want, but you don't have to. So you can see that it hasn't quite cut at the bottom, but that one's cut fine. So I'm going to just move that down there and we'll try that through again, and then we'll see. So I have got a piece of the pattern paper, and that's, you know, the same as I've used for the mats and layers, and that's what I'm going to use for doing the little bit of paper piecing with. Now, let's see whether this is cut now. Oh, user error. Look what I had that cut. I've cut up now into my plastic shim, because when I checked it and I didn't put it back down, so we're going to have to go again because it's gone into there rather than into my cutting plate. Never mind. It just gives me a little fancy imprint on my my bit of on my plastic shim. So that's our background piece done. Let's check now that this is cut. I think we're all right now. We'll have a look and see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my pokey tool in that bit up there. That's the bit that I wasn't sure it cut. So now it does look like it has cut. So we're just going to put the brush over this and get rid of as many of the bits as we can, because I do need to clean this die before I can then cut with the pattern paper. So I want to try and get as much of the bits out as I can. When I come to do it in a minute with the pattern paper, then I won't be in such a hurry to get it out of the die, all the bits out of the die, because it's the bits that I will want to paper piece back in. Let's just gently ease this off. Okay, So I'm just going to use those out. There. I always find that if you've got little bits that have just got caught, I put my pokey tool in and then kind of gently ease up, and it kind of will help to loosen any final sort of joins we've got. Right, so our next job is to stick this down onto the pink, because we need that ready for when we do the paper piecing. So let's get rid of that and that. I'm going to stick this down and then leave it to dry for a minute, and I'll make sure I clean that die out, and then we can cut it ready. So let's grab a little piece of paper and my fine tip glue, and we're going to, oh come on glue, there we go. Just going to sort of go around, sort of dibbing and dabbing. I can see little bits of the flower that are still but it's not too much of an issue. I can probably hook those out in a minute. I'm just trying to sort of not glue every single bit, but you know, a fair bit, enough that it will be stuck. Let's just pick that up. I'm gonna check this bit there, and that bit up there. Right, okay, so let's stick this onto. Now you do get quite a large margin around this. Plenty of room. Okay. Clean this out. Not much left in there, truth be told. But it is always worth cleaning the die before you use it again. Otherwise, those little bits just prevent the next cut from being as crisp as it could be. There we go. Okie dokie. And then the other thing I'm going to do before, in fact, I won't do it just yet. I'll do it once it's going through. We're going to glue into paper piece into here, here, and this piece down here. So I am going to just put a little bit of glue in there before I start looking at taking the bits out of the die. So I'm going to put this down. Big scissors, we don't need all of that. So, and just get some clean tape. That tape is looking a little bit messy. Piece there, piece there, and a piece down there. Okay. Now, whenever you're paper piecing, you just need to take a little bit of time with your when you get this die out, because what you don't really want is everything falling through. So right, what I'm doing now is I'm just putting glue into the bits. I'm just going to grab it so it doesn't fall. Put that there. I'm just putting glue into the bits where I'm going to paper piece, so that I'm not doing it, having to do it as I go, that I can just get the piece out of the die and straight off put it in. So I'm going to turn that die over, and I'm going to gently take that off and get rid of that, and then let's just glue everything together by the look of that. Right, so put the lid on my glue, and I'm going to have these two things ready. I may not need them, that I made. So I'm going to turn this over so it's the same way up, and I'm going to pop out one of the petals, and because I've got this up the right way, I should be able to tell which one it is, and it's this one. I'll paper piece that in. Okay, then I'm going to push out the next one. You really want to be doing this one at a time, otherwise they all get a little mixed up. You don't know which one is supposed to be which. That one. That goes in. So, and then this next one. Yeah. The other thing I found when I was playing around with this dye is that it didn't seem to, well, I couldn't get the effect that I wanted when I used really kind of dark or bold patterns, which is why I ended up with two sort of solid colours, and then the this sort of more this paler pattern paper. Something that you can, you know, play around with, work out what works for you. Doesn't. That. Oh. This is where we start getting a tiny little bit there. That's why I have both the tweezers and my wax pencil there, because I can then pick up bits that I need to. It goes in there. These little bits are quite fiddly, these last couple. Do it with my fingers. No. There we go. Goes in. Oh, like so. And there's one more piece on that, and then we've just got one more little flower to do. Teeny weeny bitsy bit there. Flip that over. Okay. And then goes in like so. And then we just got this flower down here to do. I think I've got tape over it, so I'm going to remove the tape. And then I think that is going to be that's the big one there. And then we can work out from there. So that's, again, these ones are weeny teeny tiny. So, and then it's a case of working out with those which way round they go, because the bigger ones are easier because it's very, very obvious. But the little tiny ones get themselves all out of twisted round, and it's hard to see where I'm supposed to go in there. There we go. That's better. That's in now. And then where are we? Must be that one. Yeah. And there. Two more bits. Do one of them. Yeah, that's the back bit. Like so. And then that one. Oh. Nope. That bit is the bit I want. Okie dokie. There we go. Right, so that's all our paper pieces. I'm just going to put that die to the side. And then, so as I said, tag shape seems to work really well with this, just something sort of more elongated. Yeah, and the matting and layering, I think, really sort of brings this sort of forward. So I have just some bits and pieces to embellish this with. So we're going to start off by putting this on with some 3D glue gel. Oh, I bet you I won't have enough glue gel in this for this one. Oh, just enough for that. So I'm putting on quite far this way because I've got quite a large sentiment and I don't want the sentiment to be obstructing too much of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be enough. So let's get another syringe out. Oh, it's working. Yeah, so I don't want the sentiment to sort of completely obliterate the thing. So I've used that. So I've used this on a much bigger angle, and then this is going to go over here. Let's put some glue gel on there, and then a bow on leg sill, and then I have little back pearls just to add a little bit more interest. So I'm going to put one. Oh, come on. One on bow. I'm going to put one on here, one on here, and then I've got 3 blue ones that I'm going to put down in like so. So let's get those in. And, 1, 2, and 3 there, and then 1, 2, and the last one on the bow. So I have used on this sort of fancy shaped card, I have used this gorgeous flower arrangement from Yvonne Creations Stylish Flowers, and it's the sort of thing you could use this completely on its own. So I've moved the happy birthday. Let me just straighten that because it's wet. Could be used on its own without the background. You could use them sort of in like to create like a doily background. But I think it looks quite effective on its own like that with a bit of paper piecing. So have a look on the channel because there will be other videos using this Stylish Flowers collection and they all mix and match beautifully. Thank you for joining me.